morning. Our reading today is from Mark chapters 12, 13, and 14. A point of the story of Jesus' life where his opponents are really trying to trip him up. They're asking him questions. They're trying to trap him to get him to say something that they can twist because they just hate what Jesus is doing. It seems as though he's rewriting the laws for the children of Israel, and the religious leaders of the day, they just didn't like it. His disciples were noticing the size of the crowds. They were also noticing that they were creating some enemies. And in chapter 13, Jesus says something I think that is getting a lot of attention in weird times like right now. And throughout the course of history, whenever there have been seasons of discord or frightening things, war, that people want to know, when is this going to be wrapped up? And in Mark chapter 13, Jesus says, "Watch out that no one deceives you. Many will come in my name, claiming that I am he, and they will deceive many. When you hear of wars and rumors of wars, do not be alarmed. Such things must happen, but the end is still to come. Nation will rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. There will be earthquakes in various places and famines. These are the beginnings of birth pains." And people have talked about this as long as I can remember in my Christian life. I can remember books that came out explaining how they figured out through some kind of code that's hidden in the text. If you just know how to do this kind of math, you'll figure out exactly when it is that God's going to come and get us. And the longer I spend time in God's Word and try and walk close to Him, the more those people frustrate me and just make me laugh. They're missing the point. Jesus wasn't trying to give us clues to have a heads up. He was letting us know that the world that we live in is fallen, and it's gonna get worse. I've never had a baby, but I've seen it done. And it doesn't look like something I'd like to sign up for. Jesus compares what I call the rate of decay of this world that we live in to birth pains. Birth pains come kind of all of a sudden, and they increase in frequency, they increase in intensity. Because we can look and say wars and rumors of wars, well, that's happened the whole time the world has been spinning. Exactly. But the frequency, the intensity of the things that are going on in the world are signs that we live in a broken, fallen world. It can't be fixed by us. And the only restoration comes when Jesus says it's time to make all things new. We don't want to be confused, because later in that same chapter, verse 32, it says, "No one knows about that day or hour, not even the angels in heaven, nor the Son, only the Father." Jesus on earth wasn't privy to that information. And that might shock you, but that's what he said. I don't know when it's going to happen. But he did tell a parable about 10 virgins who were getting prepared for a wedding banquet. 5 of them had their lamps ready, their wicks trimmed, oil to put in the lamp so that at a moment's notice they were ready to go. 5 weren't prepared, and the bridegroom came. In the middle of the night when nobody was expecting it, some were ready, some weren't ready. I think what Jesus is trying to tell us is live like you're expecting him to come at any moment. Live with a sense of expectancy, because that mission that you've been called to is important. That you get busy and get that job done. You share your faith with the people that you know and you love. You live a life that's different so that people can see the difference that Jesus makes. You live ready to leave. And when we live like that, we're prepared for the things that God calls us to, because he equips those he calls.